Hello, teacher. My group is conformed by Andrés Ruge, Esteban Alarcon, Ricardo Diaz, and me, Angie León. The topic we choose is genetic modification and cloning.
Hi guys, how are you? Firstly, genetic modification is a set of techniques that allow the programmed transfer of genes in different organs.
Oh yes, it consists of an artificial group of molecules to separate genes or fragments of DNA, clone them, and introduce them again into another genome so they can be expressed.
Within this topic, artificial procreation, cloning, and genetic modification have been found in humans and animals.
Yes, I have heard from a scientist in China. Professor He Yankui modified the DNA of two twin girls to combat HIV disease.
I saw the news. Inside fertilization was carried out where the man had HIV and the woman did not. The fertilization was done in a laboratory where a protein was injected into the embryo to avoid HIV, and then it was injected into the woman.
I think that is very bad. This type of pressure terms the morality of the human being for the danger it has.
Although it has dangerous things, but benefits are great due to the fact that by modifying the DNA change, we can become immune to contract HIV, a disease that has taken many lives.
The twin girls, Lulu and Nana, were born perfectly healthy. In the teacher's experiment and immune to HIV.
Because the genes of Lulu and Nana were modified when they were still a zygote. This change can be transmitted to their descendants, leading to irreversible changes in the human species.
This process was not completely transparent because the dangerous things that this genetic modification would have in the twins Lulu and Nana were not reported to their parents. In addition, it doesn't complete with the limitation of clinical documents about the topic of genetic modification.
I know that genetic modification has many risks and ethical controversies, especially because it's believed that the change is the genetic of a human being can modify his identity. In addition, there are simpler ways to prevent the spread of HIV.
Okay, guys, genetic modification cannot be treated a vaccine due to the risk it may have in the long term. In addition to the embryos used for this baby use an experiment which would lead to babies being born with defects.
Although it sounds strange, it is not the only time that scientists do these types of experiments. For example, in 2015, experiments were done on humans' embryos to correct the mutation in the HVV gene. It was also done in China.
Many people in the world consider genetic alteration to be unethical. We know that in many ideas around the world, well, we find people that agree and people that are disagree. That's the reason that magazine Nature and Science said that they were not going to publish anything about this experiment or this topic.
I know that. Some of the most relevant risks are random mutation, harmful consequence in future generation, the use of the techniques for non-therapeutic purpose. All of this that very dangerous to preserve that human species.
All scientists who agree with these experiments argue that it's better to experiment right now and then save many lives. That is not. To make genetic modifications is to be responsible for prevent deaths.
According to the news, the gems have been modified according to the Krebs technique, which is very risky due to the low probability of only affecting the target gem. If it does not affect other genes in the long term.
I think that there should be entities that regulate this type of experience, especially when babies' lives are at risk of the quality of life that they could have if they are born.
I think that humanity, in our effort to preserve the species, has been trying new ways to ensure the future, but I believe that it can only be achieved if a balance is found between the knowledge of man and the understanding of himself. Also, all scientists they have a responsibility to care for the health of the world, but also to satisfy the needs and interests of society with decisions that benefit the world. And honestly, I am afraid and worried the situation for future generations.
I will give you the opinion about the Vatican and the Catholic Church. The University of Oregon was achieved the first cloning of cells, and the opinion was divided. The Vatican said that humans could be treated as a product, that is like send babies or something like that, and it goes against their dignity. Some people dislike and like the idea. Why? Because last years it could be like normal to be that, but in this moment we are in a pandemic time. These babies could be, or these zygotes could be have coronavirus in these laboratories, because we don't know if these laboratories have the all of these rules of emergency that we are in this time.
Okay, I have a simple thought. Because this method can help prevent various diseases that threaten humanity. But if this has started in a uncontrolled manner, it may be a problem in the future.
Yes, it could be a problem in the future, because I think that these babies could be like, we don't know about the future of how these babies grow. So these babies could be grow with, I don't know, mutations, some disease. These scientists think that they could take uh, like the vaccine of this HIV disease. But these babies could be more disease and more and this disease could be more aggressive in the future because these babies could be, I don't know, mutation or problem disease.
Yes, in this moment, the all laboratories they have made experiments with animals and humans. Is this because consequence massive in the future generations and also mutations in the humans, uh, but also the human use with experiments is a ethical controversy and is the bad is the bad experiment with humans or embryons.
Yeah, like you say, for example, the like babies or human beings could be have a disease in the future. I think that the animals too, and that's the reason for that. For example, we are here in this moment. We are in a pandemic time because
Mhm.
we don't know these animals could be give us some disease. For example, this coronavirus. The animals could contagiate us.
Mhm.
Certain that genetic modification can be a great tool in the future to prevent diseases and prevail the humanity, but it is not good in all cases. We think people like Professor Jian Kui who are pioneers in this area. We thank all of you for your attention. Thanks so much.
Thanks. Bye, teacher.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye,
teacher.
guys.
Thank you, mates,
Thank
for your
you.
attention. Bye.